Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here for Monday, August 24th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up picking up a nice, easy winner with the Utah Jazz team total over 109.5 points, which was available on Fox Bet at minus 110. It's always nice when after a sweaty win on Saturday with the bare minimum cover by the Lakers, we end up absolutely getting a sweat-free victory on Sunday as Utah entered the fourth quarter with roughly 100 points. They needed 10 points roughly in the fourth quarter, and they ended up with 129. Denver's defense is so bad. And I talked about how going into the game yesterday, Denver had allowed 110 points to 12 straight opponents. Now it's 13. This team can't guard anybody. Mitchell went for 50 plus, and Denver now is on the ropes, and they're probably going to end up going home. But either or, looking at Monday's card, of course, we're going to be going back to the NBA because we have been doing really well in the NBA over the past couple of days, pretty much ever since the restart, actually. But since the last couple of days, we're on a decent winning streak, so we're going to keep it going. And even though there are 4 games going on, I wasn't really a big fan of anything on the total or the spread. You're pretty deep into these series, and Vegas has done a pretty good job of adjusting if you look at the totals and the spreads, with the exception of the Utah total, which was completely off, which we took advantage of. But for this matchup, we did something differently yesterday. We ended up taking a team total over. Now we're going to be doing something differently again. We're going to be going with a player prop. And it's going to be in a matchup between the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the play of the day is going to be on Steven Adams under 11.5 points, which is available on FanDuel at minus 126, a time recording of 2:08 a.m. Eastern time. Now, a couple reasons why I like the Adams under 11.5. Some of you might be thinking that's very obscure. Why would you take it? A couple reasons. First of all, Steven Adams is not actually healthy. He ended up suffering a right knee bruise late in the fourth quarter, and he ended up missing all of overtime as a result. So I have to question how seriously injured he is. If he does not choose to play, you simply get your money back, and your bet has a built-in insurance policy. However, since this is a very important game, it's basically a must-win game for the Thunder, as they cannot afford to go down 3-1 in comparison to being tied 2-2. I expect Adams to play. However, since there is a bone bruise and since he is still questionable to actually play in this game, I expect him to be on a heavy minute restriction if he does end up going. He has played at least 30 minutes in each of the last 2 games, and I expect him to be somewhere in the 20s. One thing that you might actually have to figure out with Adams is the fact that the Thunder played better without him in overtime. The Thunder actually went to a very unique lineup that they rolled out for overtime, and that lineup was very small. They ended up going with Chris Paul at the point guard, Alexander at the shooting guard, Dort at the you had Schroeder also as one of the guards. You had Dort at roughly the power forward, and Gallinari at the center. So they went extremely small to kind of match Houston's small ball strategy and ended up outscoring the Thunder 15-3 in overtime. Of course, Harden's fouling out definitely played a factor in that. But Billy Donovan was trying to find a way to get the Thunder to click offensively and defensively in games 1 and 2, and he kind of failed miserably in that. And now that Adams got injured and the Thunder suddenly clicked in overtime, I expect Gallinari to play the center a lot more moving forward because that lineup actually gave Houston some serious problems. And for that reason, Adams has an injury issue. He might not play, which is the insurance policy. He also might be on a minute restriction, which helps your chances. Plus, the Thunder's best lineup against the Rockets, arguably right now, does not even feature Adams in the lineup. And lastly, if you look at Adams' recent games, he did drop 17 points in Game 1. However, since then, he has played 30 minutes in Game 2 and 35 minutes in Game 3. He scored 8 points in Game 2 and 6 points in Game 3. So he was barely even breaking 11.5 in the first place, and now he's less than 100%, and he should be on a minute restriction, not to mention the fact that Oklahoma City's best lineup against the Rockets might not feature him at all. I expect Adams to play a maximum of maybe 20 minutes, assuming he is even able to go in the first place, which is why I think that 11.5 at minus 126 in the under is definitely way too much value to pass up on. Plus, Fox Bet has the same bet, and they have it available at minus 133, so you're picking up a couple of cents of value there. So the play of the day, once again, for Monday, August 24th, is going to be on Steven Adams under 11.5 points, which is available on FanDuel at minus 126. That's been this installment of Scott Selections here for Monday, August 24th. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.